There we go. So we are
Yeah.
now
I think we should, I don't know. I suggest we start with the questions we got on Instagram, and then now the questions that I saw, if there are some that weren't covered, the ones that I saw in the chat, and
yes.
then now and then after that, people just ask us
Okay.
or ask you. Yeah. So there's this question that was like, do you plan with your current income stream in mind? And what happens if it isn't fixed? I really like the question. Not that there's any bad question, but sometimes someone asks you something, you're like, oh yeah, I should have thought of that. So yeah.
So for this one, yes, you definitely plan with your current income stream in mind, because this is really the determining factor that will allow you to enter those values in and then start seeing how much leeway you have to save and invest. Now, the fact that it isn't fixed shouldn't stop you. So what I suggest with what's the opposite of fixed? Anyway, unpredictable income is
And irregular,
yes,
yeah.
regular income is to first create a mini savings goal where you save up enough for 1 month ahead or whatever months ahead is comfortable for you in advance, so that in the event that money comes later, you still have that 1 month to fall back on. What I mean is this: let's say you earn money maybe 2 times in a month. It might come on the 5th of the month, and then the next one might come on the 19th. But let's say, for instance, that month it delays on both dates. Ne? Maybe one comes on the 11th, and then the next one comes on the 27th, and you've got bills that you need to pay, and on top of that, um, you have to eat. So what you can do is first figure out what your monthly costs are, to say, this is the total that I need for rent, for my talk time, transport, my eating out, groceries, hair, beauty, what have you. Figure that amount out, then start putting money aside to save for irregular months. This is what I will use to fall back on. So that way you are basically what people call budgeting 1 month ahead. So the goal for irregular income is always budget 1 or 2 months ahead, or whatever months ahead is actually comfortable for you. So that's what you do. So start there, create 1 month budget buffer, and then from there you actually see a pattern from there, and then that's what I would advise for regular income.
Then, so for me to add to that, like when I started my financial journey, I was in school. I had an income. Yeah, students have incomes. I keep saying that because people keep saying, I'm a student, I don't have an income. No, you have an income if you get some allowances. Anyway, after that, when I graduated, I wasn't working. I in some months I really just didn't even have any income. In some months I did, but some months were dry. But I'm a very, very like optimistic or whatever crazy person. So like I love journaling, and I would plan that if I started working next month and let's say I was getting this amount, I'll probably save this amount, I'll invest this amount, and all those things. Maybe others might find that unrealistic, but for me, I just wanted to keep my muscles active, like in my mind, because I knew that I don't know when money will come to me, but when money comes to me, I don't want to be so unprepared that I just blow it, because it's easy to do that, you know. So if maybe you're a student, you're looking for side hustles or something, just have something in mind to say, okay, if someone gave me a 500 kwacha, or if I earned a 1000 or a 200, I'll probably keep 10% and just keep it somewhere or something like that. So when that money comes, you can look back at that goal and actually try to follow it. So your financial planning, like what you say, what Victoria was saying, like you have a why. So that why shouldn't only be applied when you actually see the money physically. It should be in you all the time, that when money comes to you, you are ready. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I also agree with those sentiments. Ne? And this is the same thing about what I think this will go to the second question in terms of being a student, you don't have income. What goals can I have? So in as much as you can strive to have monetary financial goals to say, I want to save such and such amount. But I think even the habits that come with managing money, things like tracking your expenses, you don't even need to bother about making money, but the simple act of you tracking your expenses is a good one. Buying a piggy bank, watching YouTube videos. Guys, YouTube teaches me everything. Everything that you're seeing me tell you right now, I got it over years of watching YouTube videos and
binge watching.
yes. So if you've got bundles, just say, okay, this week I'll focus on budgeting, or this week I'll focus on the no spend month. There are some people who have an
Oh my God, totally.
an entire year. I'm like, why are people driven not to spend money for an entire year? What benefits do those things have? But once you enter finance YouTube, guys, it is an amazing space. People are you can find up from different spectrums, those that are extreme, in the middle. There are so many. So yeah.
And you see what aligns with you.
Yes.
Like, what works for you. Okay, this question is about investing, but anyway, since you mentioned again student, what type of investments are appropriate for university students who are under 21? Victoria told me we'll definitely get investment questions. So here's an investment question. The word appropriate though, you can answer.
No, I'll just start with investing, and I think you guys who follow Chipepo saw that she shared Nicolette's Mashile's analogy when it comes to saving and investing. So what I'll say to answer her question is, what are investments appropriate for someone who's under 21? First of all, invest in yourself. Hands down, the biggest and the best investment you ever do is invest in thyself. So whether that's through learning a new skill, even if it's something as simple as creating a small business, whether I think Chipepo has done perfumes, anything that you can invest in yourself to start with would be great. But then if you want what we call formal investment options, things like the bond market or the stock market, those ones, if you are below 21 and above 18, you are eligible to have access to those. The minimum requirements are very, very low, 500 for the brokerage, which is the stock market, and then 1,000 for bonds.
And with the app now, people are actually buying even for way less than 500. So I think with even students anyway, we are different income students. You may be going to the same university, others only get like 200 kwacha a month, and others get like 3,000. So you look at your income, you look at your living expenses, you can invest in anything you want according to how much money you have and the investment options that are available for you.
But, and the very big aspect, like with investing, I'll go back to Nicolette's example to say, when you receive 10 apples in a month, 10 apples here representing your income, she suggests you freeze one apple, like put it in the deep freezer, and then you're going to plant the seed of one apple. You're going to plant one, and then you spend 8 of them. So the analogy that she's using there is simply to say, if you invest, and these are the risks associated with investing, if something goes haywire and let's say an emergency comes up and you've planted 2 apples instead of put one in the fridge, you are not going to go back and dig up the seed and say, I want the apple back. I don't know if that makes sense.
That's amazing.
You don't.
No, it's perfect because
you would want to
remain fine because your money is in investments and you can't get it back, and you start. Sometimes people actually are scared of investments because of that, just that fact. But you have, like she's saying, the apples example, you should actually
the one that you've put in the fridge should be your first line of defense, as it were. If there was an emergency, you needed an apple, just go to the deep freezer. If you've got a microwave, you're going to thaw it in minutes. If you don't have, just leave it overnight, 24 hours, you have your apple there. You're not going to go and the apple back because you need to use it. And that's the reason why whenever people say invest for the long term, They mean exactly that. You do not want to be going back and digging things up. You are investing for the sole purpose of seeing that money go work for you for at least a minimum of 10 years. If anything, probably some of the benefits, you might not reap 100% of them. Probably your family are going to reap the benefits. So with saving and investing, these two things go hand in hand. If you understand the dynamics of saving correctly and how it applies in your life, it's very easy to allow yourself to be more comfortable and free with investing. I would say Chipepo is an outlier because Chipepo is very risk averse, like her risk tolerance is extremely high, and most people aren't. Mine is also extremely high.
So high, please don't try this at home or anywhere.
But mine is only high because I know I have buffers. So even though I have an emergency fund, rainy day fund, local vacation, if something were to happen where, let's say, the house bent down, I would put all that money first before I put the money from bonds. I don't know if that makes sense. So even if it's labeled honeymoon, if the house bent down today, the honeymoon is the least of my worries. I'm going to get the money from the vacation and then help renovate or whatever it needs to be done. So hands down, most people say save first, reduce your risk appetite to some extent, and then invest. Now, even if you've done all the saving that you want, some people just investing is just risking. So it depends. You might only be comfortable.
Tanoria has also taught us about treasury bills. So you also look at your timeline. I know the investments that you have to wait years, but the investments where you can be like, okay, I'll get this in 3 months, I'll get this in 6 months. So it's fine, as in looking at your timeline. Yeah.
So as long as you are 18 and above, you have access to all of them. Just look at your risk appetite and ensure that you have an apple in the fridge. Save that. Or apples.
Best way to save money. Bank or cash?
This one is personal preference. Last year I did cash envelopes for my savings and my sinking funds. I created individual cash envelopes. Let me see. Do I have them? Yes, I do have them. Oh, yeah. I even forgot I wanted to buy a washing machine. So let me turn my camera on. So you see, these are just some of my cash envelopes. So this one says washing machine. This one says ice, because I wanted to get a fridge. And then actually this one says vacation, but then I started putting money I lent out and people were giving me back. So I actually used cash envelopes, and even for my sinking funds, but now I put everything in a bank account. So it's really preference. If you really want to bother your head and to figure out, the exchange rate, the dollar, the shan, for me, I have no scientific or economic answer to give you. And this is why I said we are not financial advisors, guys. So whether the kwacha is losing value or not, whether you are, people now are saying, no, put your money in a dollar account. I am not a financial advisor. So whatever makes life easier for you is what I'll go with. But for me right now, this year, definitely be the bank. If you asked me this year, I would have said cash envelopes. But then also with cash envelopes, you also have to look at the risks, which is someone can steal these things. Luckily, we weren't robbed. So
it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah. I'm paranoid when I'm at work. Sometimes when I think of I'll be going somewhere for 3 days or 2 days. Actually, even though I'm using cash envelopes for my variable expenses right now, I sometimes think of it like, if someone broke into my apartment, I think I would rather they steal things than steal my money. I don't know why, but I just feel like I don't want to come back to empty cash envelopes. But I'm fine with the variable expenses being in the cash envelopes. But I don't think I would actually save in cash envelopes. I would just be thinking about my money being unsafe, and I would probably just get anxiety from thinking there'll be a fire. So because of those reasons, I would rather be moving peacefully. I will save in a bank. So like Victoria has said, that's personal. and maybe a professional person can give a better answer, not what myself and Victoria are saying, because these are opinions. Yeah.
Yes. The next question. So someone has asked in the chat, do I recommend any videos? Yes. If you've ever sent me an inbox, guys, I always point you to the Budget Mom and Next Level Life. I also watch The Financial Diet. I also watch Graham, because Graham's channel is mostly on real estate, and he's got this keen eye on real estate because he's a, what do you call this? A realtor. So there's actually my entire YouTube channel. Oh, One Big Happy Life. Can I share my screen and show you? But if you want a list, probably I can make an Instagram post of the channels that I watch in terms with finance. Sometimes I just watch other people budget. I'm very big on watching other people budget because I like to see how other people are doing it, learn from them. So I think in terms of financial videos, I like Next Level Life. He draws them in cartoons, so it's very, very easy to understand. One Big Happy Life. These are the people that actually forced me to actually create or start calculating my net worth. Who else? The Financial Diet, of course, and the Budget Mom and Graham. These are my favorite. Oh, and of course, the moment you start watching these videos, Dave Ramsey is going to pop up. His videos are also nice, especially when he's shouting at people for spending money. So depending on the scenario, he's either very aggressive. Sometimes you find him telling people, can you spend your money? Like, why do you have 13 million?
Yeah.
Spend it.
Yeah. No, loosen up. Take a vacation or something. Well, those are great recommendations. Wow, I think I have seasons. I'm very seasonal with the people I watch, and I also think it maybe reflects on my journey throughout, like everything. But yeah, there's a time I loved watching debt-free scrims. Why? Because those people were talking about the things they did to get out of debt. Like, oh my God, when people are really focused on something, and that used to motivate me to even study. I'm telling you guys, like, I would watch that for motivation while I was studying, and I would watch that just to like keep me going. I wasn't paying off debt, but they would just explain all the things they were doing just to put money to debt. And I said, okay, I could do the opposite. Like, I could be thinking that way, but putting my money to savings. So you can try to watch the debt-free scrims if you need some motivation. And like she said, Dave Ramsey, sometimes he's got these videos where he's either maybe telling people they're really spending their money badly. Sometimes he's like very kind and even giving Bible verses and just encouraging people. It just depends on your mood and what you like to listen to. Yeah, then I loved Nicolette Mashile. I still love her. I'm just saying there's a time I binge them, but now whenever a video comes out, I always watch Nicolette's videos, and I love that she's South African, so it hits close to home. It's like, okay, this person is, it's like one of us. The Financial Diet, for now, I don't really watch their videos, but I always follow their Instagram posts. But there's a time I think I watched like maybe over 50% of their videos. Like, I was just binge watching. Then I love the Minority Mindset. Like, this is some guy who's just super passionate about finance, and his videos are good. Then right now I'm also loving CNBC Make It, because they show like individuals in different places, or maybe couples, and they tell us how they spend their money. Sometimes learning about these things, you don't have to watch someone like teaching you. You just watch people going out of their house, they're going to the market. Sometimes it makes you start thinking, because when you're looking at them, you're like, did they have to buy that? They just bought clothes. Why are they spending all that much money on alcohol or on food in a month? You start analyzing, and it starts reflecting on your own budget. Like, okay, what can I do to make it better? Or maybe let me start looking at that investment option. Just different things. Yeah, I think like Victoria has said, the list, there are a lot. So maybe I should also one day post about the people I like to watch on YouTube. But yeah,
yes.
that's
And I think another point that has come up when Chipepo was explaining was sometimes, besides watching for learning and enjoyment, sometimes I even watch so that I don't make the same mistakes that other people have made, so that I'm one person who learns from seeing other people do things badly. I'm not one of those people who go like, okay, this person has made the mistake, let me also try and see if I'll make the mistake again. Like, it's like it hasn't worked out for you. Maybe it can probably work for me, but for me, I'm like, if it hasn't worked for that person, probably it won't work for me. So
for me.
it's
Yeah.
also lessons learned as well.
And Graham, like Victoria mentioned, Graham now he watches the videos from CNBC Make It and he analyzes them. So maybe if you missed something, he'll actually say something like, oh, they could actually live on probably $400 on what, or they could actually cut this out and try to maybe move to a more affordable area. So things that you didn't even think of, you bring them out.
Yeah, so it's always good to get other people's perspective, but always remember at the end of the day, you are the person who decides what happens. And for the people who are wondering, or who've been asking, yes, the Excel sheet, just 200 kwacha, guys. Those that want it. And I'm not sure if you can allow so that I share and show the budgeting part as well. It's just 200 kwacha. And I can share my screen so that you can see the full one with everything else, including the net worth tracker and whatnot. So what you're looking at now is the yearly spending overview. And I like this because this idea of the yearly spending overview isn't from the budget mame. I got this from someone else and implemented it, but I saw I could mix and match. So sometimes you do not have to like stick to one framework solely. So this is an example of me doing this. So what this allows me to do is actually see everything at a year's glance to say, okay, this year I'll probably make 287,000. I'll spend roughly 27,000 on bills. I will save 108 and then invest 63. And then my variable spending will be about 69 and my sinking funds will be about 27. So now from those numbers that I've given you, what you can do is now come then and customize this yearly spending overview to your liking. So if we look at July specifically, this is my income for the July. And when I start increasing and decreasing all these numbers, at the bottom, though I should have put this at the top, it tells me how much is left to spend or allocate to a certain section in my budget. So if you look at this month, it means I'm over budget by 1,629. So in order for these to match, I probably need to start doing some subtractions. So this is the yearly spending overview. It is also in that Excel sheet, but this is what I use. And then I have a net worth tracker where I enter progress every single month. And I've already entered June's. My sinking funds as well, exactly the same. And then I also have what is called as a wish list. This is some place where I put things and then they should marinate in my head before I actually go on with the purchase. So this allows me to combat like impulse purchases. Then I have another list for bulk beauty. And then I also have a list for my shopping list, which is the bulk shopping and the total. And then I have another one for the bare bones budget, but which is a simply minified version of the yearly spending overview. I think that's it. Or I also have something for monthly groceries. And this is when you see those screenshots on my Instagram. So this is where I make them. And then I take a picture and then put it on my Instagram. So this is where you see these things. This is actually behind the scenes. So yeah. Any other questions from the group?
Yeah, I've asked if like you have a question, you can just turn on your mic right now, or even a contribution. Actually, we're learning from each other anyway. Yeah.
I have a question. Would the Excel sheet come with all those components, Victoria, or we have to now personalize them to ourselves? Like, will they come with all the different parts you've just gone through?
Oh, no. This one's not yet. And the reason why is in order to probably use that fully, you probably need to go, you need to go through step number 3, 4, 5, and maybe 6. I'm not sure if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yes. So today we've just
So,
discussed 1 and 2.
okay. So what components really will be in the sheet?
Okay, so that one I can share my screen right now. Hold on, so that you see it and you can make comments on it. Let me share my screen again. Is it just me or these 40 minutes have gone short, Akansh?
Beyonce. Is it showing how many minutes we're remaining with now?
No, not yet. So
Okay.
for this one, the one for 200, you are just going to have the Y section. You're going to have a section for your financial goals. These are your short-term, your mid-term, and long-term goals. You're going to have the sinking funds and the yearly spending overview. So this is now where you can start customizing because it's blank. You're going to, whatever savings that you put here, these are the savings that you can add here. And for me, I love to separate savings and investing because these mean 2 different things for me. But if you want, you can put them all in one section here. So there's also investing, and then your cash envelopes, which is your variable spending, your sinking funds, and your debt, and the summary here at the end. So for now, these are the 3 main, was it 4 main worksheets? 4 worksheets you get. You won't get the net worth tracker, the bulk shopping, and bulk beauty. I don't think bulk shopping and bulk beauty is accessible to everyone. Bulk beauty for me, maybe shopping, but bulk beauty is very personal because I'm very into skincare. So I don't think that's applicable to everyone. That's why I haven't added those ones there. So for the 200,
Okay,
this is
thank
what you
you.
get. Yes.
Okay.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Good evening.
My name is Kaluva. I find this very interesting. I'm sorry I've been going back and forth. I've got 3 under 5, so you can imagine. I want to find out. First of all, my contribution is I love it the way you and Chipepo stating right off the bat that you are not financial experts, and that is fine, because for me, that's why I started following you, because I didn't want to follow financial experts because it would be very intimidating for me. I wanted everyday girls who are just changing life through finance. So kudos to you guys. Yes.
Thank you.
And then I want to find out, is it possible where we can have a WhatsApp group where we don't bring broadcast messages of everything else, but we just focus on finance and how to just improve lives, where yourself, Victoria, and Chipepo are administrators? Is it possible?
So I can start first if Victoria has something to say. Today I was going through my leak's post. My leak Tio, she's an American businesswoman, and I really, really, really love her. So she actually mentioned something like where you have, let me just read it. Someone said their money lesson was that they should stop winging it, like just going by the day. And then she said, I am blown away by how much free and low cost information is out there. Our biggest hurdle is mistrust. Find or form a girl money gang to vet strategies and institutions. And I really, really loved this. So I was like, okay, so I need to like sit down and actually speak with like my peers. Like we should probably start this where, because myself right now, July, I think I'll be replying to DMs less. I am almost burnt out by the amount of time I spend replying to DMs. So I think it would be nice if we actually are in a group. That way, if I responded to one question, everyone saw the question, everyone saw the answer, and no one would have to again inbox me and have me like explaining the same thing. So definitely I'm for the idea. Yeah.
Definitely 100%. Actually, I did start one this year. It is called Intentional Finances. However, probably because people were kind of forced into it, it hasn't really been active. So
Yeah, like there was a time a book club about finance books that died like that. But anyway.
yeah, so I think
I
that
think
was
that's the thing with forcing people. For me, I would want someone to actually say, you know what, because my finances are so bad, I need help from my fellow girls or people, and I need a place where I can just be me, be vulnerable with my finances, so that we don't have to force people and they start taking our confidential information out there to say, look at this girl, this is what is happening. You see? Yeah, so I would appreciate a WhatsApp group. Please, if ever there is going to be one, do include me. I think, Victoria, I have you in my WhatsApp already. I think we've been
yes,
chatting
yes,
already.
yes.
Yeah. So please do include me. I would really want to, because I want my finances to be back on track and to be you have inspired me, the two of you. I think I saw you from Simple Comforts. Is that what she's called?
Yes.
On Instagram. I was
Yes,
really
yes.
blown away because I had been thinking, I was like, how do I go about this? How do I go about this? But the moment I saw all of the both of you, I was like, oh my God, my spirit animals right there.
And also just like a comment on to say that when you see other people doing it, and that's the reason why for me personally, I show my number. In fact, people has also started doing this now. And I remember seeing a comment to say that that's too little to spend. I'm like, hey, those are numbers, people, whether it's
Victoria, I know, right? I was like, okay, all right.
yes. So I show my numbers because I've seen it from like the US end. Everyone, okay, not everyone, people who are comfortable enough to share their numbers. And when I was seeing someone say, no, this month, yeah, the groceries were too high, we went overboard because we went out eating a lot, so we need to reduce on the spending, and you are seeing someone show you, that's literally being vulnerable to the highest command. Because even in the biblical sense, when you hear people from church say, no, financials should be private, your family members should not know your finances, your relatives. But then for me, my mindset is the reason why I show my numbers is to show people this is what I'm doing. It might work this month, it might not work out this month, but it's really to inspire people. Like it's never to show off. And for me, the biggest issue I always have posting on my Instagram, there's usually a big time frame that passes before I post something. For me, in my own life, I know that my net worth, my money is literally peanuts, to other people out there. But then there are other people who are also going like behind me to say, whenever they see an income of 20,000 or 15,000, like, God, that girl makes money, she's probably balling. And I don't want to discourage other people from doing that. Really, that's basically it, just to help people look at their money. Whenever someone DMs both me and people, I'm sure we have the same feeling to say, thank you so much. Really, that's it. That's really it. Really, that's it.
Yeah.
Hi, Vicky.
Hi.
Yeah, I've been busy, kids.
Yo.
Yeah, so I've been juggling. Yeah, I listen some and then I go to the kitchen and all, but I have followed whatever has been discussed here.
Yes.
At least majority of the things have been followed. I would also just want to, it's just the comment basically. Okay. I feel also, from the time I started seeing your posts, and then also one time you recommended, is it Chipepo? So I've been reading your posts, Chipepo, and then also, is it Chanosia?
Yes.
So yeah, I see young women basically who are passionate about their finances, and then also the fact that you're real. So we are learning a lot from you. So don't think when we don't comment sometimes on your posts, we don't really follow what you do. No, we do.
Thank you so much.
Yes, so and then also just to echo what the other person said, I think a WhatsApp group would be very helpful. Some of us are not so like free in posting certain things on social media.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe if I make a budget, okay, and then I feel I need maybe some advice from somebody, I can use that particular group, okay, because I know I'm free there. And then there are also, you know, people that are limited and they can definitely help me and like, you know, going about, you know, okay, families differ anyway. When they see you posting certain things, they'll be like, "Ah, so you know that thing, yeah?"
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, so some privacy would definitely help. And every time I read your posts, I tell myself to say, maybe if I knew these things maybe 2 years ago, I'd be on a different level, truth be told.
No, you
Okay,
would
but then
definitely be
now,
on it. You would definitely be, because even for me, I honestly,
yes.
the fact that because I've been tracking my expenses for the past 2-3 years, I know for a fact I have received 1 million kwacha, but to my name, probably I only have that 240 that you see. It means
Yeah.
more than 700 has gone elsewhere. So if I could go back,
Yeah.
I should be driving Benzes, you guys. Me, I don't even have a bicycle.
Yeah, truthfully speaking, this is very helpful. At least, you know, when you see someone post something, you get motivated to say, if Victoria can do it, then definitely I too can do it. Okay. Yes, she's human, I'm also human. So how can I really feel to do what she's doing? So I think a WhatsApp group would definitely help, so that some of us who are
Thank
busy
you.
also with work, yeah, we
Yeah.
can be able to check out something. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mm.
2 minutes. Just to add something before, if someone has something to say. Yeah, like when I started like this Instagram page, I actually started one once I was still in school, but then I stopped for various reasons. And then when I started this one last year, I wasn't even working. The first hurdle I had to get over was that it doesn't, because I was thinking, well, if I start sharing things about finance and people are like, she doesn't even have any income, like there's this thing in the financial world where they say don't take advice from someone who, I don't know, something about whatever money. And I was just thinking, okay, it doesn't always apply that way. Sometimes you can be in a situation but you have the knowledge. So anyway, I got over that, and when I started sharing, I was like, one thing I don't want to be is professional. Like, I just want to be me, Chipepo.
Exactly.
Because like I'm just like literally just sharing, like, oh, I went to the market and bought tomatoes and they cost me this amount. Like, that's just what I want to do. So yeah, like personal finance, it doesn't have to be that serious. And I remember our last live, we were looking very raggedy, but that's it. Like, we can talk about money in pajamas or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue. In 52
We have
seconds.
less than a minute. I just want to say huge thank you to every single one of you, the ones that follow on Instagram, on my Facebook, everyone. And I feel Chipepo also shares the same sentiments. Even when you send thank you messages, really, one person, in fact, me, I'm very ambitious. 100 people being financially aware, that's it. That's really my calling, and I truly believe that. And I hope you should call us out when we're becoming. But thank you so much for tuning in. We'll have another one soon. I don't know when, but soon. And we'll talk about the WhatsApp and then get back to you, either via our stories or something.
Thank you. Bye.
All right.
Good night.
Good night. See you on Instagram. And